Right away, we seem to have two ships that are two halves of the same whole
They
on
seem to
Team 1,
a combined spinner.
a combined spinner. And over on Team 2, we have two of the almost exact same ship, which seems to be just masses of armor.
They look to be deck cannon rammers to me.
Hmm.
I'm very interested to see this spinner design.
It is... Wow, that is really beautifully done.
Yeah. Interesting to see a team-built ship as opposed to just like two people playing with ships at the same time.
It's always good to see just these insane builds by the community. All right, we're moving close to the wire here. The rammers are getting into position. Looks like they're going to go for a flank.
It definitely looks like the spinner team has perfected their craft. Everything seems very orchestrated.
Team 2 is just sort of hanging back. I think they're trying to figure out what they're doing. Oh my goodness!
Oh.
All right. It would seem that Blaze is moving for the flank. And Triptychon is taking the fire.
That's a lot of damage.
That is a lot of damage. They are eating through that armor plating like it's cheese. Oh, and they're spinning the rammer. However, the rammer's having none of it. Those deck guns are just wailing on the armor plating of that spinner.
There's an incredible amount of armor on these deck cannon ships. Some of the most I've ever seen.
Uh-oh. It looks like the spinner's come undone.
Oh, no.
This might be the end. As soon as they come apart.
Oh, there we go.
Yup. Oh, no. They've lost one of their arrays.
Oh, my. I love the ship design. Sad to see it fail like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much over for them. There's no coming back.
Oh, no. I wonder how that happened. That is unfortunate, though. It is a wonderful looking ship. And it was such a unique... has anybody done a combiner ship before? Well, it's always nice to
That's
see it first here.
I'm sad it didn't go any further, but...
It was very, very... It's a very, very smart design that, honestly... I can't wait to see the proper docking parts for the actual game when it comes out.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that.
Because that'll make combiner ships even more possible.
I wonder if this was like a fluke, or if this was something that they struggled with a lot.
I think one person built it. They shared the design with the other. Because there's no way that they came up with the exact same thing at the time, but it's...
Oh yeah, it was definitely planned.
It's possible that they built it together in multiplayer. Okay, you need to stop spinning. Present your armor. Oh. And it's over.
They almost got to the armor at one point. So if they had not broken up, I think they would have stood a decent chance at this.
Yeah. Like they were doing great. They almost broke the line on one of the rammers. Damn. What a match, though. All right, starting off looking at the rage quit. I do believe that is a rail fan right there.
looks like a rammer design though. It's all
It's
forward thrust.
It's all forward thrust, and it's got some sort of detachable shield. Oh, I see. Oh, that's very clever. The Rage Quit and the Beyblade actually work together in unison in order for the Rage Quit to move Beyblade. That is smart. It's a positioning system.
That is, their team is just fascinating with building cooperative design. That's what I like to see in a team tournament.
IGBM carrying only nukes. And the Rolling Thunder that we saw last time. Beyblade is getting into position with the help of Rage Quit. Rage Quit's gonna need to...
Both teams have no reverse thrust.
I was just about to say Rage Quit is gonna need to detach their little scoop that they use to position Beyblade, but they just did that, so... Beyblade is about to get the brunt of the IGBM.
IGBM already ditched its sides. That's interesting.
Oh, wait, what do you mean it ditched its sides?
You look around the
IGBM
asteroid.
lost a few thrusters.
Yeah.
Huh. The Beyblade is just... It's losing armor quickly. Getting melted by the IGBM.
Oh, Rage Quit almost taking huge hits to the back. If that deck cannon barrage hit, it could have killed the reactor.
All they need is one good hit on the side and they can set off a chain reaction of nuclear... Oh, there it goes! The IGBM is out! Well, not out for the count yet. It's still got some thrusters, and I don't see any control sections.
That's dead.
That's dead? Alright, so it's 2 against 1.
Back exposed.
Oh, that looks like... Oh!
He's stuck on the asteroid. There's no way out of that for him. He has no reverse.
No!
That's over.
What a blunder!
One control room left. I don't think he has control right now.
It looks like, yep, there we go. Alright, right away, Beyblade and Rage Quit are getting ready to combine. Meanwhile, the twin piercing nightmares... Oh wait, no, they are not beam ships, they are rail fans. My mistake.
They also have only forward thrust. Seems like a classic of these two teams. It's like the piercing nightmares are going for a flank on each side.
Yep. Although it seems like they're hanging back. It is the battle of the railguns today. They might be better if they coalesced their firepower and just attacked from one side.
Maybe they outrange something. Do they outrange?
Well, no,
I think everything's 8, actually. So I don't think there should be much of a difference.
Everyone's sporting railguns, and they're all just sort of looking to get that angle. Which, it looks like Tripticon is going to try and get the drop on Rage Quit.
Oh, watch out. Rage Quit is running dangerously close to the asteroid.
Oh! Tripticon taking some armor damage there. And the fight's begun. Blaze getting an initial volley off. Oh, wow, they got a really good shot off.
Game Night is running right around the side. And it's taken out a control room on Triptychon. He's dead in the water now. Right?
Holy cow.
Triptychon is busy turning off parts to regain control.
At this point, it looks like Game Night is heading over to help out the Ethan with Blaze. Although
Triptychon
is back in the game. Oh!
Missed out on a good opportunity for another rear strike. At this point, honestly, Triptychon can't use any of its weapons. There isn't much going for. There's not much.
It looks like Ethan is starting to take out Blaze's forward-facing railguns one at a time. That rotating design has a greater fire rate, and Blaze has started turning their ships so that they aren't losing railguns.
Triptychon's about to get a blast from the side.
Oh, but they just managed to spin out of it.
Their control room's partially damaged already.
And I do believe that is the end for Triptychon right there. And now it's 2-on-1. The Beyblade's rate of fire demonstrating precisely just how powerful this duo is. There goes another railgun.
Game Night
Blaze is down to 2.
Come up on the side.
And from the side, Game Night just absolutely rips out the heart of Blaze 580. A shield ship, armor and missiles, as well as a spinner, Forget-Me-Not from Calvin. On Team 2, it appears we have something much the same. A armored and shielded ship with missiles and a wall. An ion wall. Whew.
Also, note that that ion wall has a lot of point defense. Which might not seem too useful at first against the rails, but they actually can hit rails when there's enough of them. So that should counter both of the weapons on Team 1. But that only really works if they're directly pointed at the rails to have enough time to shoot them.
Alright, it looks like Eucalyptus from Z-Quay is inertial drifting. Although it looks like now they're just going straight for the asteroid. And the prototype from Nug Nug may... Oh, no. Never mind. They are... It looks like they're trying to fake out Forget-Me-Not. Trying to keep him from doing too much damage from range.
One issue, it seems, is Forget-Me-Not on Team 1 doesn't have any directional thrust, so they're going to need a little bit of a shove to get anywhere. And that closing ring is coming up.
That does seem to be a familiar theme with all those spinners, is that they only have spinning thrust and not directional. And here come those ions. They're gonna start chipping away at Forget-Me-Not's armor. And perhaps going straight down the barrel. Oh, nope. The Eucalyptus is now hammering away at Geronimo.
The point defense is definitely making a difference. Look at all the missiles getting shot down.
Oh yeah, oh my goodness. It is certainly a strategic advantage to lessen the blow of the other team. With all that point defense, it's almost as if they're running with 1.5 ships, or just one ship. Although the Forget-Me-Not might just get in a cheeky little railgun shot on the weak end of the armor.
Oh, it looks like Prototype blocked that hit.
It did indeed. Good piloting on the half of Nug Nug.
Look at the choice of who you're fighting. You're having the point defense go up against the missile ship and chase it down, which greatly reduces the effectiveness.
Although the point defense Ion does seem to be chewing through Geronimo. Meanwhile, Prototype is also going straight for Geronimo and just tanking Forget-Me-Not.
Forget-Me-Not isn't able to rotate because of the ramming, so it's meaning that they pretty much cannot fire.
Their efficiency does seem to have been lessened. Their surface isn't as smooth as the combined spinner that we saw. Alright, the fight's getting pretty close to the edge here.
Remember, the further someone is from the border, the more damage they take. So a little dip in from the edge isn't going to do much, but if someone gets shoved in deep, they're going to take a lot of damage.
Alright, the Eucalyptus does seem to be... Geronimo does look like he's going for the ram to try and push Eucalyptus into the zone. But Eucalyptus is drifting again, and Geronimo has gone into the zone.
He's taking a little bit of damage, but because it's so little time, it's nothing too significant.
It was a pretty nice little technical there, though.
Eucalyptus is blocking his teammates' missiles.
That does seem to be a an unfortunate side effect of the dodge there.
He seems like he doesn't like any missiles whatsoever.
However, Prototype is... Oh.
Asteroid bounce. He's gone behind Germano from Cosmic. Taking out like a third of the missiles so far.
Although, if Geronimo doesn't have any fire extinguishers, that could lead to a further...
He's also stuck on the asteroid. He can't...
Oh no, Geronimo only has forward thrust.
That is...
And Prototype is pushing Forget-Me-Not into the zone, which means that Forget-Me-Not is probably out of this.
At this point, all Eucalyptus needs to do is finish off Geronimo and run. And because Forget-Me-Not should not be able to recover from the zone like that.
Forget-Me-Not getting a cheeky little shot off on Eucalyptus, which brought one of their shields down to red. If they can focus it down... Oh, no, it looks like that point defense is indeed coming in handy, as you say.
So the mechanic that a lot of players tend to forget about, but in fact in the last tournament, it made significant differences in some battles between rail kiters. So always keep in mind the power of point defense.
It looks like Prototype is just going for the ring out. They aren't even trying to get back into the ring to assist Eucalyptus with Geronimo.
Both Forget-Me-Not and Prototype are about to completely blow. Both heavily damaged.
Although Prototype does seem to be going right back in. Right in the nick of time.
Oh, will they make it?
Oh, they're so close to just timing out. Oh! Oh my goodness! Oh no! And a cheeky final Forget-Me-Not shot from literally has taken out half of Prototype, but they're still in the running. Meanwhile, Forget-Me-Not is
Oh,
unfortunately long
there.
forgotten in the corner of the map, and I do believe that is game. Team 2 has taken
Okay.
this.
Yep, there we go.
All right, what a match. All right, on Team 1, we have Providence by Cosmic. It does seem to be a pretty hefty ion ship right there, with some nice little prongs for pushing. And then we have a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 railgun fan called Sniped by Calvin.
They're all full-size rails, too.
Over on Team 2, yes, you were indeed correct. It would seem that Nug Nug has a pretty hefty tank ship with their deck guns. However, it seems to be a charger and has no reverse thrust. Ziquay seems to be going with a different missile ship, very similar to the one last used. And they're getting within range within not even within a minute. The superior range of the ion and the rails will probably determine this. That rail fan just chewing away all the way through.
Whoa!
All the way through in the first volley.
That is the
Providence coming around behind to just perhaps finish him off. Meanwhile, the missiles from Ziquay is hammering away at the back of Providence, forcing Cosmic to turn and face his enemy.
Nug Nug's already out. He lost his control room, but he's still shooting. He's shooting at Calvin without a control room. His weapons are firing.
Calvin's miscalculation could cost him his ship.
Oh, yes it will.
Which indeed it does.
Oh my gosh. Those ships took each other out very quickly. They're both
Team
out.
2 might actually win this, even though they lost a ship almost immediately.
Oh, but a lot of missiles are landing in the back of Cosmic right now. And it does not look like Cosmic has the power to catch Prototype with Ziquay.
Ziquay looking like he's going to bring the fight right back to his teammate, Nug Nug, in order to utilize some of those still active deck guns. Or he's just going right around the asteroid. That works too.
Ring around the asteroid.
Those missiles are just chewing away.
That side armor's getting down
slowly peeling away that armor on that really beautiful ion array.
Also, note that the range of ions was reduced from 450 to 300 meters recently.
Oh, that's rough.
The range issues that a lot of people run into. Is that?
Oh no, he was doing exactly what I thought he was.
Maybe he was listening to you.
Oh no, if he was. Shoot. And there go the deck guns. Cosmic utilizing the corpse of his teammate as a shield.
It would have been interesting if Snipe had lived this, because with that kind of alpha strike and range, that would beat Prototype. Be an interesting fight. But Snipe was very alpha strike based. Like his railguns had no regeneration capacity. They would take forever to power up. So once the first bout of energy was run through, you could only like fire them at maybe 50% or even less capacity.
As soon as Ziquay cuts off that bit of armor on the front of Providence, Providence is gonna be all over him with the reduced weight.
He's already about to lose a control room.
Oh no, Providence sideswiping a whole lot of missiles and just getting absolutely demolished. Well, we'll take a look at that as soon as the game starts. Alright, Team 1 looks to be, yes, indeed, a missile barge with a very eye-watering color pattern. Oh, I see. That's not actually a color pattern. That is a lot of scaffold. And then we have a Voider here, which he is using, or a charger? Yeah, I think it's a charger. With a lot of armor, shields, and deck guns. On Team 2, however, Saris seems to be running a wall with nukes. and Quiximo is also running nukes and a lot of armor. So we'll see how this one goes.
A big advantage of Ceres' strategy with that much thrust is they can quickly shoot their nukes
These
off,
weak arms heavy. Oh no.
pull out, and pull away from the nukes to recharge. It's a very effective ship design.
I think the other issue is that these ships don't have these opposing ships don't have a lot of point defense. Not enough, anyways. Yeah, there goes half of Command and Conqueror.
And you can see how Ceres just pulls right out of the fight, stays out of
However,
range.
the battle brick does actually seem to be landing some interesting hits on Ceres' ship. But not enough, since Ceres is maneuvering their ship to perfectly counter those missiles. Meanwhile, Quiximo is launching their nukes, and Battle Brick is engaging the Metaphoria.
Notice how Ceres kept their shields faced toward the nukes. It meant that the missiles that were coming at them.
Oh yeah, no, that made a lot of sense. However, Ceres did not escape that. Oh no, they did escape that without a scratch. My goodness. Command and Conqueror is trying to sideline the Metaphoria, but the Metaphoria is countering with their armor, and it does look like Ceres is going to be coming in with the absolute obliteration, the atomic 1-2 punch.
They also
And the Command and Conqueror spins out there, huh?
Quiximo's Metaphoria ditched its tip, the head part of armor.
I see that.
In turn for agility.
Fascinating. It did actually block quite a few missiles from the battle brick. And now it's 2 against 1 as Ceres and Quiximo are maneuvering to, it seems, well, they're just maneuvering. Ceres is taking the brunt of all the missiles and leveraging their point defense to try and take the pressure off of Quiximo.
Also, they've now allowed their nukes to recharge. So be ready for another barrage.
Ceres bringing their ship around to sideline the battle brick. However, a little bit of missile damage to one of their thrusters as they bring themselves back around the asteroid. Quiximo moving in to put some pressure on battle brick. Or Bloodlust Bunny.
Ceres had a near miss with an asteroid earlier. And almost getting down to the reactors nearby the control room on...
Varys coming around for the flank.
It's going to go right into the back.
Right to the side. Here comes the 1-2 punch. And atomic devastation by Ceres, ripping apart the front of Battle Brick. However, it doesn't seem to have done too much damage as Battle Brick is built tough.
Battle Brick has a lot of internal armor between its missile pods, so the entire thing is really one giant brick. He did very well.
Modularity with missile launchers is very, very useful.
But now,
not so much with energy weapons.
Yeah, all it takes.
And now Ceres is behind him, and here comes the 1-2 punch of nukes. Oh, right into the command grouping. Oh, that's painful. All right, let's take a look at what Team 1 has. It looks like double-deck gunships, and they are in fact the same ship.
Note the use of small reactors on that ship.
They do seem to have pointless small reactors. Although I can't see inside of it. Oh, no, I can. Oops.
So those small reactors have a purpose.
Yeah. I just didn't see it.
Look at it.
All right, Ceres moving to team up with Quix to try and slap Anu, but Bloodlust Bunny is moving in to counter Saris, and it looks like our first contact and first blood will belong to Saris and Bloodlust. Saris testing the waters with a little bit of laser action, but hasn't fired any nukes yet.
Every ship in this match has incredible maneuverability.
Oh, and there goes the 1-2 punch. The nukes absolutely punching holes into the armor of the Void ship there. It's named Void, it's not a Void ship though. Quiximo has decided to draw out Bloodlust Bunny, and N. Walker is now chasing Saris.
Quiximo is actually kiting Bloodlust Bunny. Seems like Bloodlust Bunny cannot keep up.
Yeah, maneuverability on these Void wall, these heavily armored deck gun ships is not the best. It does look like Quiximo is punching more holes into Bloodlust Bunny, whereas Saris is just sort of playing with N. Walker.
I believe he's reloading for a full barrage.
That is very much possible. Oh, there we go. There goes the 1-2. And that is a massive hole in Walker's ship. They've lost a deck gun. Whereas Bloodlust Bunny has not had it much better. They've lost 2 and half of their thrusters. Quiximo and Saris coming in to finish off N. Walker.
He's flanked on both sides. Ooh, just narrowly avoiding a row of nukes.
And here comes a barrage of missiles from Quix. Saris not even bothering to stagger their launches anymore.
It's a very interesting matchup with 3 avoiders.
And there goes N. Walker. Bloodlust Bunny over here. Seems to be inactive, dealing with fires. Oh, and that's the match.
Oh no, it's this ship. Alright, this is going to be quite an uphill battle for Team 2. I fought this ship before, and it is, you might not think mining lasers might actually be sufficient in a PvP setting, but if you use them right, and it looks like with this ship here, it is going to be quite devastating for Team 2. I hope they're ready for the upcoming battle.
Mining lasers are a very interesting choice. Since you fought it before, can you fill me in on how exactly it works? Because they're not normally good weapons.
So normally I was fighting him with my ion barge, but here's the thing you're taking advantage of. When a mining laser targets something like a vital component of a reactor, it doesn't explode. It just separates into tiny little parts, tiny little bits of the reactor. That's one of the disadvantages. However, if he can get to the sides of a ship, he may be able to dish away while they can't do anything, and that speed is something to take into account. Also, he has deck cannons, which are also going to be able to help to punch that armor of another ship. But it looks like the Amazon Spit's going to fire off his nukes as a suicide bomber and take out a few shields, but it was all for naught. And you can see the boosters are still spinning. You tried your best. You tried your best. And it looks like the Liliac Nemesis, a beautifully painted ship, by the way. Well done, Saris. Commissions are doing great for you. And the Artisan Lance, I'm sorry if I pronounced that right, they're moving in to advance on the Ion Kite. It looks like that's a proper 2-1 prism setup, and he's also got a lot of point defense to pair with it, so maybe it may help against some of the nukes that Liliac Nemesis has.
That Ion Kite is very interesting. Those prisms are very exposed, but very damaging.
I also forgot to mention about the LW3C. If those cannons get neutralized out of the battle, the ship will be able to split, because each ship in each module, that control room has enough control points to take advantage, to control one ship by its own, to turn it instead of like a 3-on-1 tag team effort against a single ship. And it looks like the Lance may be feeling the challenge being presented to him by Cool Gamertag. In the meantime, the Liliac Nemesis with his nukes is just bearing down the Ion Kite. Let's see if those point defense and shields come in handy. And would you look at that, he's dodged the nukes.
2 individual sets here of a kite being chased.
Well, just look at that. The Liliac has separated his armor with the explosive charges, but he still kept it on. How interesting.
He might actually want that off, and it's just not separating like he wants.
Possibly. We can see with Cool Gamertag, his shields are going down thanks to those electro bolters from the Lance ship of Mint. That could be quite devastating. And both the ships are pretty fast, so let's see if Cool Gamertag can get around to the sides with his mining lasers.
Oh, that's
no,
not good
they're
for
caught in an
Mint.
asteroid. That's not very good at all. And this is what I was talking about when I said you can get around to your sides and your front, and there goes goodbye Arcus and Lance. You did your best.
That being said, Cool Gamertag might be stuck on that asteroid. We'll see.
There is actually a chance he may be stuck. I don't think that he's gonna break through such an asteroid in such an amount of time. I mean, he can try, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work. And in the meantime, the Liliac Nemesis has discarded his frontal armor, but they're actually catching the nukes, which actually is doing something a little against him. And it looks like that nuclear punch is going in for Tippy C, but he's just managed to dodge all of them. Talk about speed.
It's
and it looks
easier
like Cool
to...
Gamer has gotten him...
Go ahead.
Sorry. It looks like Cool Gamer has also got himself unstuck from the asteroid and is preparing to rejoin the battle, but he's taken some slight damage from being outside the border, so let's see how that works to his durability.
Worth noting that the point defense on that ion kite is pretty much invalidating most of Jorogumo's weapons. They're all physical projectiles. Even if one of those nukes is on a course to hit, it probably won't get through the point defense, and even if it does, it probably won't get to the shields. So they're really not in a good position right now.
True. And as you can see earlier, his point defense were very useful for countering Liliac Nemesis' deck cannon shots. They got shot all down. However, it looks like Liliac is now trying to move his ship forward to use that ion of his. It is just chipping away at that armor of Liliac Nemesis. And looks like Cool Gamer has just come in time to join the fight and assist his ally.
Here we can see the major downside of using only huge thrusters is the ramp up.
Uh-oh, looks like Tippy's not in a good position. Those nukes struck hard.
Yeah, I think
Looks
they're
like
out
he's
of
the game.
Yeah, out of command points.
Now here's the thing. Now he's actually the Liliac Nemesis might be placed in a similar situation like I was with his with the little mining lasers. He may get around to the sides and start chipping away at those side parts. Keep in mind, he also has the speed, so he may be able to do something against those nukes. Unless, of course, that happens, which he lost a few of his thrusters. But here's the thing. Even if he splits, he can independently control those two ships, because he has enough control points. Oh, looks like the Liliac Nemesis looks like the Ion Kite had enough control points anyways. He was able to fight back just a little bit. But Liliac Nemesis has such a bulky ship with all that armor too, and firepower. It's gonna be quite an uphill battle.
He actually didn't have enough command points, but he turned some stuff off so that he did.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, it looks like the Ion Kite is still he hasn't given up yet. He's fighting back. He's still got some ions left. Unfortunately, that reactor might be... Oh, he's gone. His bridge has been destroyed. And here comes Cool Gamer with his mining laser ship. See, here's the thing. Now he has now if he gets around to the back sides and stays there, he actually may be able to get rid of that reactor and compromise the Liliac Nemesis engines. It seems to be proving relatively effective.
Jorogumo's ship is unusually well defended on all sides for a competitive ship, so even though that mining laser ship is back there, if it can't stick very well, it might not be able to do much.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking that he's sticking pretty well. He's already dismantled some of his Jormun's engines. Oh, here comes an asteroid. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good for Jormund. He's put himself between a literal rock, I mean the asteroid, and a hard place again. Well, now again.
Those mining lasers are doing quite a bit more damage than I'd expect.
As I said earlier, don't underestimate this ship. It proved to be quite potent in our battle.
Oh, but having a little trouble sticking to the back now.
That is true. Looks like he might have those armor pieces might have caught into the frame of one of his little sides. Let's see if Liliac Nemesis can turn around in time.
All of these ships here are in a nasty spot.
Uh-oh, that's not good. Team 1 took a brutal hit. Looks like his last LW3C has enough command points to continue the fight, and mining lasers too. Let's see if he takes advantage and gets thrown to that rear side again. Does he have the speed, though, is the question.
That's a very good
Not
question.
Indeed. Thankfully, he's not on fire, so that's a good thing. And yes, it looks like he does have the speed. He's going to be chipping away at those shields and the same place he was earlier. Just melting through that armor.
But those nukes...
Uh-oh, that's not good. That's not good. He seems to have lost control of his speed, and looks like Jorgmund can actually take advantage of this now.
Yeah.
Oh, here come the nuke volleys. This is not looking good. Oh, Team 2 with the victory. Congratulations. Yes, it seems I was right. It had heavy lasers and electrobolters, but also with some point defense. That might help with that. Yeah. And it seems that they're now starting to pair up. But as I was saying earlier, with the point defense on the Dragon's flyby, it might be able to help with the EMP missiles and the mines that the Combiner Kite may throw at them, and possibly even a railgun shot if they can. Looks like both ships are accelerating to attack speed. Looks like Team 1 has paired up the Super Kite. The Combiner Kite, sorry. And they're hopefully going to turn and prepare for a devastating attack.
Oh, interesting. The Combiner Kite's method of latching is really cool. It involves some really weird stuff with the combination structure and armor pieces and their hitboxes. And it basically puts them inside of each other.
That is cool.
Yeah.
All right, looks
probably
like
the most stable hooking variant we've seen so far in a tournament.
True, but it looks like the two ships there are coming in for the kill. See, those point defense did help with the railguns, but 2 heavy shields are already down.
There's plenty of shields left to go, though.
True. The question is, can they be able to... Oh, they just... the point defense was very useful at knocking out those first shots.
Oh.
But it wasn't helpful against completely separating him in half. No, but here's the thing. I can tell that they might, they still have their command bridges, and they're not entirely separated just yet. But they are on fire, which is not good.
And slower, which is a big deal.
They only have they only have a few fire extinguishers, so let's see how it helps them. In the meantime, the Mint completely gets absolutely split in half. But he still has a ship to control, or 2 ships to control. As we said, this ship is devastating. All those firepower and defenses packed into one deadly combo.
Yeah, versus a rail kite, walls are usually not the way you want to go, because rail fans can just pierce straight through them and hit reactors.
It looks like those mines did a number on the Sapphire. They're just chipping away at the backsides and completely separating the bridge and annihilating it. However, they are in the border zone, so let's see how it affects their battle play.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to get much further outside, but they're kind of being cornered.
As the farther away you're out from the border, the more damage you take. However, Jorgmund has already been split in half. And Team 1's launching more mines and annihilating 1/2 of Jorgmund's ships. And then there were 2. Sorry, I meant there is 1, and then there were 1. EG.
All right, right away, Team 1 with a vaguely Borg-looking ship seems to be a pretty hefty-looking nuker, as well as a railfan with a very interesting armor design that's actually quite beautiful. On Team 2, we have another combiner ship. It's another combiner railfan from the Wonderwall team from the first match. Game Night and Ethan.
This is the same group that had that combined spinner.
Yeah, really interesting one. And actually, they had the combined spinner, and then they had the pusher, right? The voider that would push the other spinner. So they seem to be very, very good on their teamwork. All right, Team 1 is already taking the center of the field.
Interesting to see how those bigger rail ships work out, because just like last time, when you get that many rails all in one place, they can end a ship very quickly.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rail guns at maximum efficiency versus 2, 4, 6.
At the amount of forward armor they have. Now, one issue they might run into is maintaining the rails.
Yeah, the amount of armor that they have could interfere with the railgun shots for both of them. Really, it's very, very, very long armor for railguns.
Though, note that the barrels on the combined ship are too wide.
The door is inertial drifting and looks to be trying to square up, but I think they're out of range, aren't they?
Yes.
They do seem to be out
Ship
of range.
getting close now.
Team 2 is turning.
Note the
It looks like they're going to get shots off.
Team 2 has quite a bit of point defense as well.
Oh, there it goes. Minimal damage to Team 1. Team 1's trilobite.
Team 2 did lose a lot of their point defense, which is going to be very important when fighting off the nukes.
Yes, indeed. However, Team 2 does seem to be eating into J-Freak. I mean, Tapeable Door. The absolute hunk of armor that is meet me at 3 a.m. is saving them, honestly. The centerpiece railgun of Team 2 just ripping through the...
control room.
It might have. I think it did. It did hit a control room. The trilobite moving in to try and limit the rotational energy of Team 2. However, Team 2 coming in with a full barrage, eating away at that armor.
Yeah, J-Freak is completely out of the fight.
J-Freak's, Tapeable Door is done. Oh no. And now it's just spin to win at this point. There we go. There's that misfire that we were talking about.
But they dropped.
However, they've dropped the barrel. They've dropped the front armor.
That means they're going to be able to spin at full speed now.
Firing at precisely the wrong time. Oh no! One of the Trilobite's railguns is down. And they've started a fire in one of the main armories.
The Dukes are back.
It would seem Tapeable Door has turned off enough of his things.
He's got one control room right now, so if he turns off enough stuff, he's still in the game.
And here comes another full rail. Actually, not quite full. It looks like they're having charging issues.
Yeah, half of them are out of power.
Game Night is having some connection issues, but it's stabilizing. Oh! very nearly a perfect shot right there with the trilobite. Oh, and that's a full that's a full deck of missiles. And the very first railgun death for Team 2.
It almost lost a reactor. There's a reactor at half health.
Oh my goodness, what a lot. These guys are very, very lucky, but they're gonna need to be a little more cautious. Very nearly wiping out Tapeable Door there. It looks like they are moving on to try and take out Tapeable Door and prevent them from interfering further. Team 2's armor is very, very thin on its left side. Tapeable Door's missile ship does seem to be loading more nukes. And Trilobite has lost its second railgun.
Team 2 has almost lost one of their reactors, but it seems like they got the fire under control. So
Team 2 is actually about to lose something pretty big.
Oh, armor.
Very, very close. All right, their armor is gone.
A railgun got to the side.
They've lost their third railgun. They need to start thinking a little more tactically. They need to take out that nuke ship.
That nuke ship is only one shot to take it out, and they've.
I think they think it's out of commission.
There's one control room.
They're just focusing on Trilobite.
Only a matter of time before there's another nuke barrage.
Yep.
Ammo does run out.
I think it's. Oh no! I think they're out of ammo.
That was only one.
Oh no! They are not out of ammo. Oh, it would seem that the railfan is slowing. And the danger must be growing. Oh no, they're doing a quick to burn turn. Oh, very nearly hitting the main reactor of the Trilobite.
One issue is that it's going to cut off power from half the ship. I believe that destroyed the corridors. So Trilobite should be losing control.
Oh, and there goes Team 2. Unfortunately, it would seem that they've cut their ship in half, and because their railfan does not have any maneuverability, that will be game.
Actually, hold up. It seems like Trilobite has lost half their maneuverability too. And if Team 2 manages to save this,
oh my,
it is not over.
This is a an underdog story for the ages. It looks like they're trying to maneuver their half of their the last half of their ship into carrying the railfan. However, Trilobite might come around.
All it takes is one good hit.
All it takes is one good hit to their barely.
They only have one rail. They only have one rail left because of the power issues.
Oh, almost taking out the control deck there. The railfan is currently suffering some personnel shortages. Game Night is defending the railfan with the half of their carcass, and turning the railfan to perhaps to a full sweep. Oh, nope, and bumped. Oh no, that didn't latch like they wanted it.
Seems like they're pulling away. It seems like Trilobite is completely out of power on half their ship, which means they only have
just 2 minutes left. Team 2, if they aren't able to do any more damage, will lose this just from timeout.
Well, doesn't that no, that's the ring closing. And looks like
you're right. Okay.
So, and if
However, it looks like they just got the perfect golden opportunity to link up again, and here they go.
Looks like it's gonna come from the side, but they got to be very careful not to lose grip again.
Yeah, they're gonna have to rotate exclusively left, or not. Actually, their linkage is pretty good, pretty solid.
It
And
is
here
a
comes the
miracle
full
that
rail.
They have it
Oh,
straight to the armor.
damn! This is some fine piloting we're seeing from Game Night. I think Game Night is the one in control. Yeah, Game Night is keeping this alive at this point.
Oh, that knock! Oh my gosh!
However, the Trilobite has one railgun left, and it is determined to put holes in the ship. Oh no! Team 1 has lost an entire ship, which puts Team 2 in the lead. However, the circle is now closing, and now Game Night is hard pressed to bring the ship back into it. However, they are still pumping
capable doors.
Railgun shots into tapeable door.
Tapeable door has taken less damage from the ring. In fact, I don't think they've taken any at all. So unless Team 2 manages to shoot out tapeable door can take this.
Oh, they're getting so close every time, but it's just not enough.
The control room on tapeable door is already down most of its health. So it can be very close. But
here comes another barrage. And that's Team 2 winning. Oh, what a match!
You didn't know who was going to win until the very end. A roller coaster.
All right, so Team 1 is sticking with the letter spam ship and the Trilobite. Meanwhile, Team 2 is again brought back the Beyblade. Ethan complaining about the map because they got the majority of asteroids on their side, whereas the other team has a very open and clear shot.
That is the most unfair map I have seen to date.
But just watch.
Up.
I'm almost certain they will somehow use it to their favor. Oh, a little bit of an asteroid bump there.
Their use of rails doesn't really help them with the asteroids.
No, it does not.
Ethan and Game Night have been very entertaining this entire tournament with their unique design and teamwork. The best teamwork.
They are definitely my favorite to win, and I know I'm supposed to be objective, but oh my goodness.
So sad that first spinner didn't work out.
And they've disconnected their in a strange move. They've disconnected their guide.
They did that right next to an asteroid, which I guess could help.
Actually, that's pretty smart because it prevents them from flanking. Those nukes are just hammering away at the Beyblade, but the Beyblade is just letting it rip.
Oh, and Rage Quit from
Rage Quit.
Getting around.
Rage Quit is inertial drifting around. Oh, sorry. Around tapeable door.
Trying to go for the back of Trilobite, actually.
However, Trilobite seems to be exposing its rear, and there goes Trilobite is down in an early death.
Oh, getting sniped by Beyblade. Surprising because they had so much rear armor, but they had an angle that was very vulnerable.
Well, I think Ethan had a very, very good grasp on when they were going to fire their railguns, because I think they're currently using a manual control. Because that's how you do those spinner ships, is manual controls. So
doing
that comes in tandem with its
a big rail hit. I believe that hit a control room of sorts.
No, it did not. It missed the control room, but it did.
Yep.
It did cut off quite a lot of power from some of the main turning
did.
thrusters.
I think it did hit one of the control rooms on half of it. And that was the other one that just went out. So now they're out of control.
Nope, they have one control room left.
It's not sustaining it though.
Well, of course not. But
Small control. And now they're exposed, so it should be one hit.
this might be a very quick match as Team 2 fires off their railgun, and that is game.
There we go.
What a an astounding couple of matches.
Ethan and Game Night are very entertaining this tournament.
Checking
Nasty
on
spawn
Team
position
2,
for
Oh,
Team
yeah.
1 there.
right in front of an asteroid. Looks like we got it's a fight of Zekwi's deck cannon versus another Selph's deck cannon. Endoshade's laser wall versus Nug's laser wall. Question is, who's gonna pull out of this one on top?
That's a very good question. I think a lot of this is just going to come down to strategy and piloting, because their ships
Exactly.
look mostly identical.
The absolute tiniest details. And it looks like Endoshade's gonna head off with Nug. Same goes for Zekwi and Selph's. Looks like Endoshade's pulling back a little bit. Nug may get off a few lucky shots on Selph's if he wants to.
Yeah. Not the place Salifs wants to be.
Oh, but here comes Enoshade attacking the rear of Nug. But it looks like Zekwi's gonna head him off just to save his teammate. Look at the
And
strategy
Nug's-
involved here.
And Nug's sheer speed allowed him to dodge most of those shots.
Agreed. So look at this teamwork. Uh-oh, Nug may get caught on that asteroid. Oh no, that's not good. And Nug lost a few guns. Looks like Zeki's still in his brawl with Enoshade.
Both of these laser walls taking some pretty dangerous hits.
Yeah, looks like that armor of the deck cannons are going to be very helpful for allowing this survivability.
Yeah. Salif switching targets for a second, trying to hit the back of ZQE.
Well, Enoshade's taken some small thruster damage, but nothing's popped just yet. In the meantime, looks like Nug is going to start heading off of, start attacking the rear of Zekwi. Oh no, sorry, I'm saying the rear of Enoshade.
It's very hard to tell these ships apart. They're moving so quickly.
Exactly, and they're almost like next to identical too. This is very complicated. Uh-oh, looks like Enoshade's taking some front damage. It's getting poured on like a hailstorm by Nug's laser fire.
Yeah, and he's gonna take some nasty hits to the back there.
Oh god, look at those! Look at that explosion! The engine modules. I feel bad for you, Eno. I feel very bad.
Yeah, and that's going to set his thrust off balance, which is going to slow him down a lot.
Looks like Nug and Zekwi are teaming up on Selph's. He's coming into the sides. Oh, now he's changing targets back to Enoshade. In this case, it's just whose defense can last longer, Zekwi's or Selph's defenses. I think they both actually have the same amount of deck guns. Well, actually, no. Let me check. Okay, so
I believe ZQE has one more.
Yep, you're right. Zekwi has 10 deck guns compared to Selph's 9. But Nug looks like isn't giving him a chance to break. He's going for the reactor. Will it explode? Oh no, no, he didn't get it.
Very close,
Oh, but
though.
he's him on the sides though. That reactor is not looking not in a favorable position. Its armor has been chipped away. But the defenses of Zekwi have been broken a bit. That command bridge is a little more vulnerable. Let's see if Nug's speed can get up to par and get to that weak spot.
You can see here the issues with having off-balance thrust with Enoshade's ship. He really, really wants to go help his teammate, but simply can't get there in time. Can't keep up.
Yep. And also some of his firepower is compromised too. So Zekwi, but Zekwi's also not in a good position too. He has an exposed area for his bridge, so he needs to be extremely careful. Oh, look at that hit though, just tampering on the shields there. Oh, Zekwi's coming to the back of Selph's. This won't be looking good, especially with such a weak spot so open.
Assuming that hits, it might not.
Oh,
Wow.
but took out some engines though.
A
That's not
lot of
good.
engines.
All right, now they're on their same sides, but that can change quickly as Siegfried head off Selfez. Nug completes to absolutely eviscerate Shade out of the Cosmeteerverse.
Yeah, it looks like Shade's having logistics issues at this point. Not a lot of his weapons are online.
Yeah, there's just too much damage. I mean, at least he Self is still having a hard time of his own right now. It looks like Nug's continuing to pour on the pain, and Siegfried needs to finish off Shade. And is now going in for the kill on Self's weak point, that exposed reactor. Oh, there goes the shot. Oh, he just barely misses it.
Yeah, the momentum on deck cannon shots is very weird and unpredictable. You really need to be in a ram to fire them accurately.
As we say, third time's the charm. Let's see if he gets that deck shot off. Well, I mean, not in this shot, but still. And it looks like Nug has actually taken some damage, lost a few guns and shields. But Shade is looking pretty worse for wear, you gotta admit. Looks like Nug continues to eventually evade those. Oh, look at the smart use of the point defense to the deck cannon fire. He's taking some damage though. He didn't get out of that completely unscathed. Oh, that's not good. Uh-oh, Nug took some serious damage.
Nug
isn't out just yet.
Yeah, he kept Salif pinned.
And Zeke struck the weak point.
Yeah, great teamwork.
Agreed. This is a very close match. And we still have Shade, who's still actually alive. But he's stuck on an asteroid, so that's not entirely good. And the border's shrinking in. Oh, it looks like Zikri is probably going off to finish Shade in his vulnerable state. Well, in the meantime, Selfez is having a little brawl with Nug. Unfortunately, Nug only has 3 weapons. And actually, so does Selfez. It's an even match. Oh. Selfez has the defensive advantage right now.
Definitely the defensive advantage. I'm not sure about offensive.
Yeah, it's a complete tie. They both have 3 weapons each. Oh, it's a close one. Unfortunately, Self's defenses are definitely going to be contributing to his more survival chances. And it looks like Shade has. It looks like Zikri has picked off Shade. Goodbye.
Coming back to help his teammate there. So it's going to be close.
Indeed. Zikri still has a good degree of all his weapons left. Unfortunately, he's out of ammo. That's not good.
Yeah, that's...
All I can do is... he's now reduced to a pushing unit.
That's definitely gonna make this very interesting. ZQE has opted for ammo storage rather than ammo factories, which is probably what gave him the budget for that extra deck cannon, among other things. But it's kind of biting him in the back now, because he's out of ammo and his opponent is not.
However, he still has all of his his entire ship left to use to his advantage. So maybe that armor and shield could come in handy to maybe push Selfez off balance. I'll admit though, the defensive weaponry of Team 2 is, well, but Team 1 has been relatively compromised. However, Selfez only has 2 guns left, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways. A lot of different ways this could go.
Goodbye, Nug. Bye-bye, 12th Street Rag. Now it's just Zikri versus Selfez. However, Zikri still has his weapons and ammunition. Also, I forgot to, we also should mention, there's a pretty big weak spot to target that bridge, so Zikri has to be extremely careful.
Yeah, he's gonna have to come up with some sort of plan. Without any ammo and without a teammate with a functioning ship, he's gonna have to try and figure out how he's gonna do any damage in the first place.
I don't know about you, but I'm actually predicting this fight may just go the distance. He's in the border. That's not good.
If the countdown timer hits 0, the match doesn't actually end. All it does is shrink the ring down to 0, and that guarantees everyone will be taking damage, and then it just turns into a battle of attrition.
Yeah, or we would say the closest to the center, because as mentioned before, the closer you are to the center, the less damage you take.
Yeah.
Question is, how much ammunition does Selphus have left? Let's see. Oh, he actually still has a fair degree of ammunition left. He still has some firepower left over.
Yeah, but I'm not sure 2 deck cannons is going to be enough to get through ZQE's shields. They're kind of at a stalemate right now.
True. Or maybe he can get a lucky shot off. I mean, there is that exposed bridge.
Mostly exposed.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good. They're locked up together. This may not be looking good for ZQ. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That armor is getting chipped away. If he keeps this up, it may be over.
You can see him turning to remove that attack angle from Salif's.
True. As I said earlier, this fight is going to be down to the absolute smallest details. Very complicated fight here.
Yeah.
It looks like ZQ's going to push Selphus into the border to get some extra damage off. It looks like he's in the border too. This is not good for either of them.
Yeah, it looks like ZQ's using his speed advantage to corral Salif's out of the ring, and maybe try and hop back in the ring before Salif's can.
True. After all, Salif doesn't nearly have the same amount of speed that ZQ does. I mean, Salif has actually lost a lot of his engines, and some of his actually are shut off due to a lack of access to the engines. Looks like Nug's little lasers are actually they're playing their part. For whatever little they can, they're getting their little damage off of. Unfortunately, Salif doesn't know the meaning of mercy. Goodbye, Nug. I'm sorry you had to go out like that.
At this point, I think it is going to just be a battle of who can stay closest to the ring of death.
Uh-oh. Look at the
there.
armor. It's getting chipped away. Question is, whose bridge blows first?
So it's worth noting that the Ring of Death doesn't actually distribute damage evenly across your ship. It prioritizes the parts with the most health. So even if a part is injured, let's say a control room, if you exist outside of the Ring of Death for a long time, it won't be the first thing to blow up. It might be the last thing, you never know.
Yeah, looks like the both bridges are taking some serious damage. But looks like, according to the damage, Selphus may not come out so positively. That bridge is almost destroyed.
Well, both of them are.
Yeah, the question is, whose blows first? I think we may know who... Selphus is going to blow first. And...
I don't think so. I think it's Salif's.
Oh, you were right. You were... Okay, their spawn was actually a little better than last time. There's no asteroids in front of team 2.
So 2 rail kites, or not rail kites, rail orbiters versus deck cannon ship and a missile ship. So it's going to be interesting. Again, it's going to come down to piloting more than anything.
True. They have some pretty good designs, you gotta admit. Looks like for Team 1, Nug takes the lead, with ZQ close behind. And it looks like Selphus and Endershade are in a tandem movement right there, side by side, ready to attack. And Selphus is turning, he's focusing towards Nug. Nug, you gotta watch out, he's deadly. If he gets in front of him, he may restrict Nug's ability to orbit.
Ooh, that's a scary angle.
Looks like some of the missiles are actually getting caught. Let's see here. All the missiles are going in quite a similar lineup. If they go in like a similar straight line, it may prove quite devastating.
Oh, that was almost very, very bad for ZQE.
Yeah. Looks like Endoshade's gonna take his sweet time and pick off Zikui at a distance. But that armor, frontal armor, is gonna be quite the asset.
Yeah.
However-
the main advantage of having two rail ships like this is it's very hard to tell which one is going to target which ship, and they might switch targets constantly. So you'll get a lot of nasty angles like that if you're not careful.
Zelf is now targeting Nug's missiles. He's exposed. He's vulnerable. Let's see what he does. Oh no, that's not good. He just chipped away 2 missiles and destroyed a reactor and his shields. That's not good. I think he's almost out of the fight. That's not looking good for Nug. In the meantime, Zikui is trying to take his anger out on Endoshade. He's just bombarding him with deck cannon shots. Let's see how good that does him. We have a lone little ace up a Team 2 sleeve with Selphis.
Not sure if ZQE's really, really good at piloting or really, really lucky, but he's taken a lot of railgun volleys that could have easily killed him but didn't.
True.
Oh, but that
Oh
hurt a
no,
lot.
that's not good. Yeah, that bridge has almost been compromised, almost cut off its power completely. In the meantime, Self is gonna probably turn around and start to. Oh no, he's gonna pick off Nug. He's giving no mercy.
He might just be getting his
That's not good.
distance.
Oh,
Oh.
goodbye, Zikui. There goes your bridge. I guess that's him out of the fight. Now it's just Nug left.
Yeah. Now, while Nug's ship does have
Oh,
command
no,
points,
He surrendered. He surrendered.
forfeit. Yeah. Good game.
Yep.
All right, on Team 1, we're back with the blue pages and the flare. We've already seen these in combat before. But over here, we got a couple new ones that I haven't seen, at least not yet. It looks like a barge, an armor barge with deck guns for Polar Bear. And with air, it seems to be a couple of voiders, or rather, what does this say? This is a cannon trap, casters, please. Do not call it something else. Also, okay. All right, the cannon traps. Calling me out for my lack of knowledge, I see, Air.
Where does it say that?
It says this is a cannon trap. Please do not call it something else. Also, hi, Marina. It says that on its paint. Its paint job is calling me out.
Oh,
Oh, all right. One Eye is going around for the flank, whereas Kawa is moving straight in down the center.
notice Air is actually using prism armor in front of his reactor, which is very effective against railguns, but doesn't do that much against everyone else.
Prism armor.
Prisms prevent.
Oh, using prisms for. Oh, I see. Clever.
So they absorb all the damage and they don't allow something to cut through them. So that
I didn't
kind of
know
armor,
that was. I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah, it's good against rails, but it has a disadvantage against ions because when an enemy ion charges up the prism, but before destroying it, the prism becomes explosive.
All right, and first blood is probably about to go to Kawa as he makes first initial contact with Air's Skebbies. However, one of Air's Skebbies has gone around for the flank and could start causing some serious damage to blue pages.
It seems like Kawa outrunning the
One Eye, however, is launching an entire stream of missiles right into that Skebby that flanks. However, the Skebby is fast enough that it avoided the first initial volley. Sorry to cut you off there.
If that second volley gets around in time, which doesn't look like it will, it could hit the control room. I meant the first volley that missed, not the second volley. But another volley took out half the engines on one of Polar Bear's ships.
All right, and that's one of Air's Skebbies down, with moderate damage to the blue pages. One Eye is just powering through. He does not care. Just pushing right past some of these ships, and he keeps on firing his missiles. Though he doesn't seem to be as coordinated, it just seems to be a constant stream instead of volleys.
Bawa just drove past Polar Bear, who was exposed to him for some reason. I suppose rushing to rescue One Eye.
That is quite possible.
A very vulnerable opportunity to ram the back of one of Polar Bear's ships.
Air's connection is dipping. That's not stopping them from plugging some holes in Flare. Blue Pages is just pounding on the cannon trap. And it would seem Polar Bear's Serpent's Oculos are having a little bit of a maneuverability issue. As One Eye's Flare is now about to absolutely hamstring one of Polar Bear's ships with those back missiles.
I think there's a controlling issue, getting used to controlling that many ships at the same time. It can be very difficult to control like a swarm of ships with only forward thrust, because those typically need manual control to make sure they don't crash and get stuck.
New thumbnail. This cluster of ships is certainly an interesting view, as One Eye is just plugging missiles into people. There goes another one of the Skebbies. Air is down to one ship, but Polar Bear has both of their ships. Both of them, their thrusters rather damaged, but still in fighting form. Just those absolute hunks of armor.
One thing to note is, even though Polar Bear ships are stacked on top of each other, because they are deck cannons,
they can shoot past each other. That is a very good thing to point out.
For some reason, I don't see his guns firing. Wonder why. None of his guns are shooting. They're all ready to fire.
I think he's waiting until, because he only has so much ammunition, I think he's waiting until he's in a more opportune position. Like right about now, one of his ships is about to get past Blue Page's wall of shields. I was right. He's going for the thinner armor, sacrificing a few more engines to the missiles of Flare in the process, but that doesn't seem to bother him.
He just lost one of his ships because the control room's out.
Never mind, that's very much bothering him. However, now that he's behind Flare, he can lay into those missile launchers with his cannons and possibly hamper Flare. It looks like Flare is actually missing quite a few launchers.
Yeah, he got to take a barrage in there. And if those factories blow up, the factories can blow up pretty big.
It'll touch off a chain reaction.
Though I think everything is compartmentalized to where the chain reaction won't be too big.
I don't think I've ever seen Flare take this much damage before, at least to their missile launchers. This is an interesting matchup. And while Team 2 seems to, be taking quite a few licks, I don't know. It is possible with some of the right timing they might be able to take Flare out and then flank Blue Pages. But then again, Blue Pages can split and reflank.
It's
and
right now.
That's the end of Polar Bear's Serpent's Oculus.
That one was actually dead out earlier because it lost its control room.
It seemed to still be firing though. So and there's the end of the other one, because now they've lost all differential thrust on one side.
Only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Interestingly, these ships only seem to have one medium control room each.
Which is interesting because, you know, because of the size of the ships, I thought they'd need something more, but it's actually pretty efficient.
It's because I think because they don't have like a bunch of shields and whatnot.
And now we've entered into the Chomper, where Flare is just pushing the Serpent's Oculus and the cannon trap right into the blue pages, and they're just hammering away.
It's pretty much over at this point. Just one good hit.
Serpent's trying to maneuver out of the direct fire of blue pages and get their control room back in order. Oh, and there goes an ion. They've lost control.
EMP took out the control room.
EMP, my apologies. I'm used to Star Wars terminology.
No problem. So until they get energy back in the control room, they cannot control their ship, but they can still shoot.
Interestingly enough, one of Polar Bear's cannons is pretty close to touching off one of the ammo stashes. If they just focus fire, but unfortunately it looks like it's a little bit too late to start that, as the missiles have started to grind into that back armor and is about to touch off the control room. It's just a little bit under half.
And
there it goes. Team 1 wins. What a match. Looks like another interesting matchup in terms of spawn location, this time favoring the underdogs. Air's disconnected spinner has already started spinning up. The Milvus Magnetus is a, looks like a rail fan with an interesting design. Very odd. As well as Babby, which looks to be the smallest cannon ship I've ever seen.
Yep, it only has no ammo and no energy on it. It's just YOLOing out there.
Ringularity getting seems to be having some trouble, or not trouble. It seems to be going around the asteroid. Babby is about to get absolutely wrecked, and there it goes. That's the first blood. Kawa with the absolutely brutal clubbing of the little Babby ship.
The absolute size of a polar bear's kiter is pretty impressive.
Is that what it is, a kiter?
Yeah. It stays out of range.
Kawa and Air are having some interesting issues. Oh, and it's resolved. We're back to full speed. Polar Bear needs to spin his ship really quickly right now. There we go. Uh-oh. Air. There we go. All right.
Issue that comes with.
Unfortunately, his guns didn't fire, his rail guns, and now he's being flanked. And this looks like that's the end for Polar Bear. This is going to be a very quick match if he can't escape that. And it's crunch time as. Oh no! Ah!
He's kind of not.
Oh dear! It looks like One Eye over here has taken out one of Milvus Magnetus's command decks, though it seems like they doubled down on the large.
Nukes from behind. Oh, it looks like they got dodged. Maybe? Hold up.
Is Air's Ringularity is a... Oh.
Yeah.
It's a nuker.
It's a nuke spinner.
And it got the surprise attack off on One Eye, which I'm actually surprised about. Milvus Magnetus's railguns not even connecting, actually striking the back of their armor.
One thing about how One Eye's positioned right now is that he still has half the ship kind of attached, which makes it much harder to steer it correctly.
Uh-oh, Kawa.
But the absolute speed Air has on his nuke ship is amazing.
Polar Bear's railguns don't seem to be exiting the ship at all, which is a problem because their ship is actually a really interesting design. It's just a shame that it's no longer combat viable. Ringularity over here, Air's design, does seem to be laying out a fair amount of hurt, though, as One Eye has had to abandon one of their sections.
If it wasn't for such a decisive gang up on Polar Bear, I think this matchup would be pretty balanced.
Yeah,
Because of
surprisingly.
how little armor One Eye and
And
Kawa have on the back.
With Ringularity's spinning shields, they actually seem to be able to handle whatever Blue Pages can dish out.
Oh, and he just managed to cut One Eye in half with that one nuke, hitting in just the right spot.
The question is, does Air have enough storage for nukes in order to keep this match going?
More importantly, right now he's actually stuck and not able to rotate, which is greatly
However,
reducing.
his nukes are about to eat holes in the back of Blue Pages, or not. And now the punishment is coming from both sides. A fully powered Blue Pages just rips right through the shields of Ringularity.
Ringularity really requires on kiting and keeping those shields spinning.
But unfortunately, Blue Pages is much faster, so the kiting is not going to work.
See, if Polar Bear were up and can hit a rail to the back of this,
And there goes one of the reactors.
and that should be over once
That
it
does
breaks.
appear to be game. This is just a slaughter at this point.
And they've got to
Ringularity has been pushed into the asteroid, and they're now Blue Pages is wailing on them. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No worries. In fact, the centerpiece is almost destroyed.
Yep, there goes Ringularity's outer edge. It's just the juicy core in the middle, and there it goes.
All that's left is actually Polar Bear.
Is Polar Bear still in the game?
Yep. He got one control room.
And that would be the end for Ringularity. It has one more reactor, but I doubt that it has very much combat potential at this point. And that's the end of Ringularity. As for Polar Bear, though, I wonder if the pilot has realized that their railguns are not making it out of the barrels.
Well, if they're kiting and heading mostly backwards, it's not too much of an issue. But the issue is they got flanked and or people on all sides, so they had to spin way too fast.
They do seem to be leveraging the fact that the battle moved to the edge of the ring, and they might actually be trying to do some kite tactics right now.
Oh, look, where's that coming down?
Just
Oh,
barely
come on.
missing one of the control rooms for one of the Blue Pages. They're now dealing with one of One Eye's ships. However, One Eye is just is absolutely One Eye is flanking them very, very rapidly, obviously leveraging the speed of the Blue Pages.
Speed
And
is
here
big.
comes Kawa's, and that's the end of that.
Looks like Cool Gamer has a missile orbiter. TPC has his kiter with mines, I might want to add, compared to Quiximo's head cannons, and this one's a favorite of mine, Eidolon's laser avoider. What a beauty to look at. Looks like Quiximo is diverging off from his partner, Ceres, and he's trying to perhaps go around the asteroid, see if he can get any surprise attacks.
Not sure if this is an attempt to flank or just difficulty piloting with monothrust. That rail kite is going to need to be very careful.
Indeed.
opponents are
He's not in a good
fast.
position right now. It looks like Quiximo and Saris are closing the distance extremely fast. Tippy has got to be extremely careful because there's a very thin layer of armor protecting the railguns. Oh, wow,
Ooh.
what a shot!
Nasty hit.
He's coring out Saris in the middle. It looks like Cool Gamer's here to dish out his volley of missiles.
Ceres's ship is still fully
There's-
functional, though.
Indeed, but it's lost a pretty big chunk of its capabilities with another clear direct path to another reactor. When looking at Quiximo versus Tippy, Quiximo's got a lot of armor. However, Tippy has got speed for his kiting, point defense, and shield. So this is going to be a quite interesting balance of firepower and defense.
Quiximo is doing a very good job of keeping up with them, though. Keeping the pressure on.
Agreed, he's not letting up. And we're looking at Saris to Cool Gamer. Looks like Saris is putting the pressure on, trying to get around to those sides and expose those missiles for a potential detonation. And as we see here, he's actually using factories, not storages, so he has still got a lot of ammo to work with here.
You can see all the point defense on Ceres's ship helping thin out the missiles before it hits his shields.
Exactly. They can't stop it all though, so one stray missile may determine a win or a loss.
Ooh!
Yes,
Quiximo did some serious damage to that rail kite.
oh no, he's lost a lot of his defenses too. He just 2 railguns left, but one's not powered up. Yeah. Quiximo's putting the pressure on him. In the meantime, looking at Saris to Cool Gamer. Cool Gamer's still got a lot of armor to work with here. So Saris has to really chip away at that armor slowly but surely. He may just get through it.
He's doing a very good job at avoiding the missiles for the most part, though.
And now Tippy has to play keep away from Quiximo. Quiximo's got the armor and the firepower to shut down Tippy for good. But one wrong move could spell doom for Tippy. Uh-oh.
Oh, look.
Cool Gamer's into trouble.
Yeah, he's gotten himself stuck.
Just leave Saris to take advantage perfectly. He's going to annihilate those missile launchers. Uh-oh, that's not good. He split.
Yeah. Cool Gamer Tag has made an interesting decision there to remove his armor. I'm not sure that actually helped him get off of the
Actually,
asteroid, but
It did.
will definitely
It
help
actually
him
also
avoid
blocked his
Ceres.
shots. It also blocked Ceres' shots for a bit, giving him and buying him a little more time.
Yeah.
And also, since he's lost the extra weight, increased his speed, so let's see how well this helps him. That point defense is just going to work. Looks like Tippy's still playing keep away with Quiximo. Quiximo's closing the distance, though. Ceres is still online, and so's Cool Gamer. See if Ceres can still get around to those rear sides and destroy those missile launchers. He's still poking at the side armors, just a little bit.
See the two
Here we
battles intersecting for a second. The ring is definitely smaller. Starting to put pressure
True.
on. We might
That's
see
not looking
some
good for Tippy.
might see some switching of targets here. Not sure.
It doesn't look like it now. Quiximo's still keeping the pressure on Tippy, but those railguns right now aren't getting powered on anytime soon. So that has to be a pretty big concern. Gotta credit to Cool though. He's doing a pretty good job of playing keep away from Ceres's laser weapons. Those point
Ooh,
defense aren't doing any favors.
Quiximo took some missile hits to the back there. It's messing
on
with
fire.
his weaponry.
Rear
Ooh,
weapons may be
nice
lost
intercept.
because of this.
Ceres doing a great intercept there, took out one of Tippy C's control rooms. It's currently dead in the water.
Yep, and just
And
a
it's
nice
now
finish
dead.
off. Goodbye, Tippy C. You play keep away for so long. Alright, now the pressure's on to Cool Gamer. Can he pull off the impossible?
I'd definitely say this is still possible. He has theoretically a lot of missiles left, and both of his opponents are damaged.
True. Still, Quiximo and Saracen are going to try to put the pressure on. or for what little Ceres ships has left. Just a little module now. Quiximo, he's still got some weapons, but they're on fire, so that's not good. And look at that. Cool is doing a very good job trying to keep away from the border, or at least mostly his weapon systems.
And so far doing a good job of preventing himself from getting flanked. That being said, he does not want to be in a head-on ram versus a deck cannon ship.
The question is how long before those deck cannons of Quiximos pop. They are on fire after all. Oh, looks like they're all going into the death ring. No holds barred.
Oh, there goes a control room off of a Cool Gamer Tag's ship.
Still,
And there goes the
that's not
reactor.
good. This just proves that Quiximo and Ceres are a deadly force. You gotta hand it to Cool Gamer and his partner Tippy though. That first railgun shot just leveled Ceres and leveled the playing field.
Yeah. Match isn't over yet though. Cool Gamer
True.
Tag still has that one control room, and everyone's in the ring of death.
Oh no, he doesn't. He's dead. Team 1 wins. GG.
Close game. Very well played.
Again, excellent spawn positions for both teams. Let the action commence, and Ceres going right in for the charge. He owes Tippy a serious receipt for that last shot last match.
Probably see Ceres be a little more cautious on the approach here. Might
Agreed.
try and hide behind some asteroids.
It looks like Cool Gamer once again takes the lead with Tippy right behind his tail. Oh, now Ceres, now Quiximo takes the lead, blocking Ceres using that frontal armor to potentially screen him, as asteroids are the question right now. So all of them are in a straight conga line. This is very nice, and the fight begins. Cool Gamer does not want to be in a position with Quiximo if he's ramming him.
Like TPC's going for another railgun
Oh,
shot.
he did, but he didn't core him.
Yeah, he
Shield
fanned too
blocked it.
quickly. Didn't fire all of his railguns. Ceres, though, really doing a lot of damage to Cool Gamer Tag there.
Oh,
Not where he
goodbye
wants to
Tippy.
be.
There goes all your railguns. Again, you don't want to get into a fight with a deck cannon rammer. Just leveled Tippy. And now it's time for the revenge, part 2. I gotta say, this battle is closing up pretty quick, a lot faster than the last one. Looks like
Yeah,
Quiximo's coming in to steal it.
Team 1 definitely got some better attack angles to start off with. That helped them a lot.
Yep. As Cool Gamer said, no lucky shot this time. It's just pure carnage and chaos. Uh-oh, now they've squeezed him tight. Another rock between a hard place. It looks like those missiles are compromised. Reactor's gonna go any minute.
And this is where
Looks
deck
like
cannons
Quiximo.
excel. This is gonna hurt.
Oh, it's gonna hurt a lot. And I said and goodbye. Alright. Now they've just left the little fishy Tippy here. Bait. He's gotta run away fast, or he's just gonna get pulverized. Or probably the second option. Yeah, he's just gonna get pulverized. I take everything I said back. GG.
Oh, there's not much he could have done there anyway. Good game.
True.
All right, Team 1 is getting into position to move Beyblade. Team 2 doesn't seem to be moving yet. Oh, never mind. White Death is on its way. An eye-watering pattern on the Antlion by Slowking. It appears to be a forward-facing cannon ship with deck guns.
It's very, very forward focused.
Yes, it is. It also has these little claws on the side to prevent ships from escaping.
One thing noticed is Slow King said that that's what he was adding those on in the break.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
Without that, it would be turned to its vulnerable rear.
I see. The White Death is doing its backwards push. I believe this is a kiter, considering that most of its thrust is pointed backwards.
It doesn't have the speed to keep out of distance, but it does, I guess, kind of fall into that.
My question is, can the Beyblade spin while it's in that little cradle?
I want to know so bad. It wouldn't be useful because it blocks the other ship.
Yeah.
It technically should be able to. It would need a lot of push to it, though.
And the Beyblade has been deployed and has started spinning. It's already started to rip right through the armor of the Antlion, but the Antlion is currently pelting away with its cannon shots. Absolutely just sitting on top of the Beyblade. 2, 1. Alright. That Antlion's little claws there are perfectly designed to keep the Beyblade right there so that it can rip right into those rail guns and just keep it from actually doing what it was meant to do.
It prevents it
This
from
might
rotating too.
This might spell doom for the dynamic duo, as the rail fan White Death is got a perfect shot. Oh,
the Beyblade has taken a big hit. It's exploded half of
yeah,
its internal.
Beyblade was done as soon as the Antlion showed up. Here's me praying that the dynamic duo of Game Knight and Ethan have something else up their sleeves, some other combiner ship or some other teamwork ship that they can utilize against this absolutely just disgusting show of force. Uh-oh, White Death, the ammo barrels eating away at the some of their railgun shots.
Beyblade is
And that's the end of Beyblade. Oh, White Death has deployed its higher mobility form. Meanwhile, Antlion is going to be hard pressed to get rid of the dead weight on its front. And Ethan is desynced entirely. Is that? Oh, okay, never mind. He just left.
He's
Okay.
dead. Oh, looks like we got behind.
And
Oh.
that might be the death of the Antlion.
It is. There is no control room left. But
Oh
those
my-
guns are still there. Those guns
Those
are.
guns are still there, which means he's going to have to be careful of their firing arcs. But at the same time, this might... holy cow! This is a turnabout!
Oh.
I looked
Very-
away for a few seconds and he took out the Antlion. Oh, here come those cannon shots, but they're impotent because they're firing right into the Beyblade.
That speed is
Even-
making such a difference.
Oh yeah, no, he is going to outpace the White Death. However, that speed has also gotten him into trouble because he slewed really hard, and now the White Death is unleashing magnetic rage on the Red Quip. The Destroyer has left the game. I believe Slowking is... Or, I think the Destroyer is leaving the game.
I think it was out of sync on my end.
Nope, the Destroyer has not left the game. It's still going.
No. Game Knight should be wanting to avoid this frontal battle because they appear to have less frontal armor.
I think what they need to do is they need to break off and just move away. Oh no! Game Knight has lost their Center 2 railguns and their command deck is exposed.
And they're just one good ammo box explosion away from losing there.
Again, it is my opinion that Game Knight just needs to gain some range on White Death because it can't move very quickly.
They have the same range, but if you can get an angle on the side done previously.
And that's their third railgun gone. Game Knight is having some serious trouble against the White Death.
He has managed to keep away from the Slow Kings.
Uh-oh, but as it turns out, it would seem... Oh no! Right at the last second, White Death moved out of the way. There was a catastrophic moment where Rage Quit's two leftmost railguns were pointed right down the throat of White Death.
Rage Quit's actually almost lost one of its reactors on its... And it's probably going to lose a reactor to fire.
And there goes half of Rage Quit. Oh no, that's the first loss.
Yeah, especially anything this later in the game, it becomes a lot more challenging to use ships with that maneuverability. Especially ships that can't be one-shotted.
it would seem that the map has again favored the upstarts, as Mystic Square and White Death are in a mire of all these asteroids. Meanwhile, Beyblade and Rage Quit can move to the center of the map pretty easily and possibly monopolize on it.
Very interested to see what's their plan this time around to avoid their spinner getting punked on like it did last time.
I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. It could be that the dynamic duo is throwing in the towel. They might not have anything better. They've disconnected the cradle. Beyblade is almost squarely in the center of the map, which puts it at a strategic high point. What I'm worried about is the Mystic Square getting its claws into Beyblade.
We could see Rage Quit working hard to avoid that.
If Rage Quit rushes the Mystic Square right now, they might have a chance. But at the same time, the White Death is just this monolithic hunk of armor that I don't think that Beyblade will be able to deal with. I do believe that Rage Quit is waiting for White Death to move in so that they can punch them from behind. But at the same time, Mystic Square is just keeping a watchful eye on White Death, and if I'm being honest, Mystic Square could combine with White Death in order to maneuver them a little bit quicker. It does seem like the White Death is going to engage Rage Quit in order to prevent them from prevent Rage Quit from protecting Beyblade from the Mystic Square.
One hit to the side, nothing significant though. Got our first bit of rail fire from the longest rails.
Beyblade is being rushed.
Almost
They're going to have
damaging.
no defense against the Mystic Square. All the Mystic Square has to do is latch on.
Beyblade has almost completely taken out the White Death. The reactor is pretty much dead.
Wow. So
And-
their focus was to take out the White Death first because that was their biggest issue. And honestly, the Beyblade could theoretically punch through to that front reactor on the Mystic Square, but it is unlikely that that is actually what they're going for. And I'm correct, because it looks like they're just using the Mystic Square to cart them around while they fire on the White Death. That is a new type of disrespect we're seeing on this field today.
The White Death is so close to being out. They have like almost completely dead reactor and control room. Very, very close.
The Rage Quit just needs to fire down the throat of the White Death. Get that ship out of the way so that they can focus on the Mystic Square while the Beyblade is heroically trying to turn its armor to keep itself alive just a little bit longer so that the Rage Quit can finish off the White Death. But the White Death is giving the Rage Quit a run for its money.
I honestly
Eating away.
I think the Rage Quit should have ditched and tried helping out Beyblade and targeting the back of Mystic Square earlier and ganging up on Mystic because of it's not armored in the back.
I concur. At this point, it's a 2-on-1, and I do believe this spells the end for the dynamic duo of Game Night and Ethan.
Yeah, they should have taken advantage of the downtime. But I understand how tempting it is to look for an opportunity to finish.
And here comes the thunder.
Oh.
They've sandwiched Rage Quit and are about to plug him full of holes, except that Rage Quit is just a quick little mother... Oh!
Look at that speed. Both of them are incredibly fast.
At this point, Rage Quit needs to move away from the White Death and focus on the Mystic Square. as the White Death is very, very slow.
Oh, that's some big damage to the front.
White Death has dropped its armor to increase its mobility. However, the Destroyer is having some connection issues, probably because they dropped the armor, which I've noticed is a big issue. And the Rage Quit nearly inertial drifts right into the perfect spot to fire their railguns, but fails.
The White Death can just about turn fast enough. Piloting is really deciding this fight.
If the dynamic duo can move away from the edge of the map, again drawing away Mystic Square, they might have a chance to punch through that front armor and hit that core. But at the same time, it does look like that the White Death, with that final kill.
Right, same ship, same chips. Team 1, Quiximo taking the charge, taking the lead, and the Blue Pages, quite a speedy boy there.
So far, Ceres and Quixmo are sticking together. It's probably a smart decision.
Yeah. If they stick together, that combined point defense may do a number on One Eye's missile attacks.
Depends on their orientation.
Yeah, it also depends on how the Blue Pages plays. Yeah, you don't want to get caught into a ramming game with these boomers. Sorry, that came out wrong. You don't want to get into a ramming fest with these two ships.
The joke was inevitable.
Yeah, it was just gut instinct. Anyways, looks like One Eye and Kawa is just waiting around the asteroid. Looks like the tag team are going for One Eye, as they know they can probably get rid of his missiles with their point defense if they stick together. But the Blue Pages is still sticking around. And yep, here come the point defense. There we go. The combined point defense is actually helping out a bit.
And we're gonna get some head-on shots with the deck cannons.
True. They're caught. Now Carl's getting into a ramming game. Same with One Eye. He's caught at the side. That's not good. Uh-oh, that's that little twist and turn from Ceres may have actually helped helped One Eye a little bit. Quiximo still got his ram on.
Yeah.
You can see here, just that point defense teamwork coming in extremely handily.
Quiximo is definitely not in a good place. Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Oh no. I feel bad for One Eye. He's just getting his missiles are just getting destroyed. He's caught in a bad ramming position.
And there goes
goodbye,
his control
One Eye. It seems like revenge was inevitable.
That being said, Ceres might be stuck. Well, not quite. Almost.
Nope. Looks like Quiximo's gonna take the shots for him. And also dish out some punishment of his own.
Ooh, and
looks like yep. Blue Pages is
split.
Here come the deck cannon shots. Oh, just narrowly missing the engines, just clipping the armor a bit. But I think this next shot's gonna seal the deal. Oh, that was just vicious. Those reactors are in prime attack position, and there's one more bit, just one bit left, and they take the cake. Final shots, and Team 1 wins. They have their revenge.
The railfans are not full length.
Sorry?
The railfans are not full length, which means they don't have the biggest range.
Or the most damage.
Though that's not really important because the other team isn't using rails that are longer.
Right. Then we have the Voider Screaming Star, which just appears to be all heavy lasers and disruptors. And a missile
Tractor
Voider
beams as well.
with tractor beams. Interesting. Slowking, highly responsive to prayers. Wow, that is... That's a name and a half. What is highly responsive? It looks like they're running purely single missiles.
Zachary with the Screaming Star has gotten flanking one of the. Oh!
Oh no, the Screaming Star, while quick, seems to have lost 1/4 of its potential and the rest of its potential. Oh my goodness, it can no longer maneuver. It has one control point left, and now it has none. At this point, Slowking is the only person on team 2
And
left.
Zachary's completely gone.
Now it's up to him and his stalwart armor, because that thing is taking a pounding.
But now he's surrounded. It's not looking to be good for him.
He needs to get out of the range of those rails right before his missiles. There we go. Alright. He's still in the running, however his missiles are about to impact into the asteroid now instead of actually helping. He should probably swap over to manual control so that he stops hemorrhaging missiles.
Seems like he is using his tractor beams to push Innershade into the asteroid to keep him out of the way.
It's an interesting move, because you'd think that he'd want to stick to the side of the ship that doesn't have railguns.
Yeah. Well, actually, it might be what he's doing right now. At least preventing Salfez from being able to fan very effectively. It's nice to see tractor beams used in a tournament. You don't see them too often.
Yeah, and when I was doing shipbuilding, right, I was always fascinated by them, because it's just like, I can see how that would be really useful, but at the same time, it's just like...
Yeah, I think a big issue is it adds another whole layer to controls and whatnot, and unless you get really good at like being fast with hotkeys, of jumping in and out of manual control mode and then changing directions of tractor beams, it can cause you more trouble than it's worth.
I mean, at this point, right, what they really needed to do was stick to the backside of Salfez's orbiter.
Oh!
And that was a very good maximum distance shot by Salfez, absolutely neutering one half of Slowking's ship and tractor beam array.
See, the thing about rails is, no matter how far you are, you pretty much can't turn your back to them. Or they will be very sneaky.
Unless you got a lot of armor in the back, in which case, well,
yeah,
it's whatever. But at the same time, it is possible for Slowking to turn this around, as it looks like Innershade is about to possibly lose a fair amount of ship if the right missiles land.
They do have an exposed reactor, but it's a very narrow shot to the
However, Slowking is turning their back to the asteroid, and right through a weak point, Innershade with the snipe right into the reactor. Holy cow! Yeah, no, there's no change in lineup. We still got the White Death Mark III. I was kind of hoping to see something new, like the White Death Mark IV, just like at the last second, bringing out a new ship.
We haven't seen the White Death die.
I don't think we have.
Well, it hasn't actually died, but like it lost the control room and was pretty much out against the dynamic duo. So it wasn't technically out, but it was. If there wasn't interference from the other teammate, it would have been gone. So we might be able to see something like that happen, depending on positioning and everything.
Oh no, my recording software isn't working. Alright, first blood goes to the swashbuckled rail orbiter, followed very quickly by highly responsive to prayers.
I think both the rail orbiters are jumping on the White Death. Which
Well,
does
it's the thing that poses the most threat to them. However, if those rail orbiters can... Oh, if they were just lined up properly, they could have gotten straight to one of the control rooms right away.
Which would require...
But as it stands, the White Death is floundering, trying very desperately not to get slapped by these swashbuckles. Meanwhile, highly responsive to prayers is just sort of weeding away at the armor. White Death has decided to drop its armor early, which is an interesting choice, but I can understand why. They're being outmaneuvered and outgunned very quickly.
It turns them almost into a spinner. You look at it, the shape of them.
Oh, trading blows. It is going to be a tight game this round, I think. Because if the White Death can just
he's showing
right through that armor.
Let's see how this.
Oh wow, got away without losing any components that time. But oh my goodness, this is an interesting. I am at a loss for words.
Oh, the random armor chunks are blocking Salfez right now.
I think the problem is that the White Death is not very energy efficient and is actually losing out to these more efficient railguns.
Surprisingly, the missiles have not made much of an impact so far. I guess because of how quickly everyone else is running around.
Well, that and missiles aren't. Oh, and there goes the White Death!
Completely
entirely down. Cord. It's now up to the to Slow King to try and weed his way through that armor. But considering how we saw this go down last time, I don't think we're going to be seeing much of a resurgence. This could be another wipe by Team 1.
I really like the new. I haven't seen many of these like very forward thrust based rails, but both the dynamic duo and now InnoShade and Salfez are making it work for them.
I like how we've colloquially called the new people the dynamic duo.
It's their name. They didn't play as separate players. They played as one team.
And a surprise shot from behind has cut the ship in half. There goes one reactor. Slow King has barely anything left, but they are still firing. Missile launchers don't require energy, so they're still plugging away. But here comes InnoShade with the rear.
There we go. And
coring Slow King, and that is good game.
Alright, it looks like Selfest takes the charge. He's taking the lead. InnoShade right behind him. It looks like Kawa takes the lead with One Eye right behind his rear.
So it's the ultimate shield versus the ultimate lance.
Exactly. Here's the thing: you don't want to get into a ramming position with these deck cannons. It'll be proving pretty fatal if that happens. But here's the thing: those rail orbiters have some serious speed. Like, it's ridiculous.
They do seem to be pretty matched in speed, however. I'm noticing that they are moving pretty lockstep.
Seems like Kawa's trying to get behind to InnoShade's ship.
And the first
see if he
blood
can dish out some blows.
First blood belongs to InnoShade, as you said.
Oh
no, it looks like they're sandwiching.
Or not. This is exactly what the problem was. If they ever get into a ramming position, it could be very troublesome. Kawa's locked in. That was not good
no! It looks like One Eye has lost some maneuverability.
You never know who's aiming at what.
Exactly. These rails always change their targets. 1 minute you think they're going for one guy, they're actually going for the other.
Wait for it.
It's honestly the smartest move that they have right now.
Those InnoShade turns, maybe able to snipe the Kawa's engines.
And there goes the rear armor. There's a hole right there.
And he didn't get Kawa's engines. Lucky break.
These rails work so effectively as a team.
Salfez and InnoShade are definitely demonstrating how they got to this point. Their teamwork is impressive. Definitely
the pressure on.
Definitely teamwork and coordination is required. No. And there goes Kawa's entire maneuvering array.
He's still got engines, though. He's not out of the fight just yet. He's still in his ramming position. He's still locked in. And he's still got enough cannons, though, to do some serious damage, so... And, of course, the game goes out of sync. Seriously? Right, this
We do have a
awesome match is
lot
going
of
on.
players.
Wow, all desyncs are issues with the game. I'm gonna have to try and debug this later.
Ah.
Oh, the action is resuming. Oh,
Oh.
what happened?
Remember, people are taken out of direct control mode during a desync, so it can screw up someone's aiming and everything.
Yeah.
And there goes One Eye's some of One Eye's ammo storage, as it looks like.
That's actually Kawa's. One Eye's over here. He's fine. Yeah, sorry. Anyways, oh god, look at Enoshade taking some serious damage. That armor is has been cut off to bits. One Eye is using his meat cleaver-like firepower to absolutely dice through the thin meat of Enoshade's armor. Oh, and there we go. There's the bridge. Enoshade has been taken out of action.
One
His
Eye
bridge
needs
is
to rotate
compromised.
really quickly in order to. Yep, there we
Oh,
go. He
he
blocked
did.
it
And that
right
armor got
in
caught,
time. It looks like
that's
Kawa
Enoshade's ship
is.
out of commission.
It looks like Kawa is just barely in it. And like
No,
you
he's
said,
not. He has no
Enoshade
bridge.
is out of it.
Yeah, Enoshade has no bridge, but Sailfez is gonna have a tough time. It's only him against the world right now.
Kawa is losing out to the fires aboard his ship. Looks like he's going to be out of the count very, very soon. It looks like it's only One Eye and Salfas left.
Well, his speed is entirely compromised, but some of his firepower might be compromised. So he may get,
Enoshade might
a few
actually
shots
get
in.
some posthumous shots off. Because I see a
Well,
few of
let's
his
see if he
railguns
does.
are powered. And raring to go.
Nice.
3, 2...
Nope.
Nope. Huh.
Railguns are probably set to a specific target, and
Oh
if
yeah.
no
they're set to
control.
fire at target instead of fire at will, they'll only fire at the target even if a valid target.
Oh, never mind.
oh.
You can see there that they're going to be aiming for that one reactor.
Right.
Looks like that's the only lucky break that Enoshade can get for his partner Sailfez. Right now, he's
Although
it's a
it
game
looks like Salfas is trying to maneuver behind Enoshade to try and leverage the last 2 railguns.
You gotta admit, right now it's a total game of cat and mouse. Yourself has to be pretty careful. And Enoshade, that's the ace up Sailfas' sleeve. You'll never know where he can strike from. However, if they
Salfas
move
trying to weed into the hole in One Eye's armor, but unfortunately it would seem that he missed.
oh no,
and
they're
now he's
sandwiching it. That's
sandwiched.
not good.
And here comes
this
the
is looking really bad.
coordinated fire, taking out 2 of his railguns, 1 of his
And
reactors,
reactor.
the other 2 railguns. It's a
Goodbye.
cascade. He's down.
Looks like Team 1 has demolished the first match. GG. However,
Quite the
the game
cinematic
isn't over
finish.
yet, though. No? Oh, wait, is it? I don't remember.
It is best of 5. Okay.
Never mind, best of 5. I take it back. As I was saying earlier, Team 1 might have won the first match, but they have a long way to go to a victory. Look at the speed of the blue pages. They're just absolutely accelerating towards those rail orbiters.
Roaring towards the front lines, as it were. Although, actually, it looks
Exactly.
like they're going to be going for some kind of flank.
They're gonna team up on Enoshade. Looks like Sailfez is right behind an asteroid. He's seeming to have noticed this and may want to protect his partner from danger. Oh, looks like Kawa's going really far away now. And
I
One
think
Eye
what they're
is-
doing is they're trying to get to the most open area of the map in terms of asteroids, because missiles are rather dependent on
he
open
just-
areas. However, it
looks
looks
like One Eye
like
just fired some missiles.
yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, maybe an accident. All right, looks like Sailfez and Enoshade are staying around this asteroid perimeter. Let's see if Enoshade begins to open fire with his railguns. Kawa is nearing the distance. Looks like Sailfez is going to touch first blood with Kawa. Oh no, he got caught in an asteroid for a little second. Let's see if Blue Page's speed is enough to turn the tides. Oh no, Enoshade is coming around. This is not good. He'll have to be very careful with this.
Blue Page is wailing on the armor, but to no avail. It would seem that and sandwiched. South is missing
just in
out on a
time.
really good opportunity to fire, but losing out on it.
Endo Shade's ready to fire again, and he nails up those shields. Looks like the missiles are actually hitting Kawa. Not his intent, but it's okay. Looks like those shields are more than enough to stop those railguns.
South is trying to maneuver behind One Eye in order to get a shot off, but also managing to get a shot off on Kawa. Kawa loses 1/3 of their ship.
Gotta admit, the frames are actually coming pretty handy for a ramming situation. Endo Shade's having a pretty tough time right now, but if he turns, or at least if Stilphus gets to that vital area, it could change the game. Endo Shade caught his own weapons.
Endo Shade turning too quickly.
Yep. And here comes Stilphus. What is he gonna do?
It does look like at some point One Eye took some hefty hits to the rear. As did Kawa, as they're now down to 1/3 of a ship.
Exactly. Looks like Flair's trying to get revenge. He's trying to see if he can ram Stilphus and take him out of commission. But right now it's a 2v1 game right now. So it's not good. Well, I mean, Kawa's there, but he's kind of just there but not there. He's having trouble right now.
The aggression behind Team 2's tactics is paying off.
Indeed. Their teamwork is quite exceptional.
That near miss by Salphas against Endo Shade actually seemed to work out in their favor. However, now that Blue Pages is behind Salphas, it looks like he might be able to burrow. Never mind, he just gets sideswiped by Endo Shade. But if Kawa can burrow into the armor of Salphas, there's a possibility that Salphas will go down.
And those missiles hitting the bridge, and Salphas is out of commission. Now it's just Endo Shade versus Kawa and One Eye.
Endo Shade just needs to land that one shot. They got very close to taking out that reactor. However, it looks like Blue Pages is a tough little ship.
That sounded like you said something else.
And that's the end of Blue Pages. It is now Flair versus Endo Shade. I mean, Flair versus Swashbuckle.
They got a lot of thick armor. Endo Shade has a lot of thick armor to go through for One Eye ship, but One Eye still got a lot of missiles. And remember, there's that backside. It's pretty vulnerable to missile attacks because there goes his engines. And that reactor getting dangerously more close each time to get to exposure. And look at the shields coming in handy for One Eye. Just blocking all those railgun shots. Let's hope one team is suitable to win this. And here comes the missile swarm. Will it connect? Actually did connect. Well,
Endo Shade trying desperately to turn right now because he's lost some of his maneuvering thrusters.
Yep. Question is, will Selfez's dead carcass of a ship get involved in this match? One Eye showing his rear to the railguns.
It is possible, however, it looks like when Endo Shade bumped into it, it turned it, so it's not going to be very effective. But you also have to keep in mind that Salphas's railguns will only really function if its target was One Eye, which I don't think it was. Its target was Blue Pages when it went down.
You can see the missile just chipping away that thin layer of weaved armor on the side, just an inch away from destroying those engines.
Endo Shade running a dance with death with this behemoth that One Eye fields almost constantly.
Yeah, those shields are definitely coming in handy. They're just reloading before Endo Shade can dish out the damage. And look at that, a clean path to the reactor. Will any missile strike it? Let's see. Uh-oh, that's not good.
Endo Shade is barely avoiding. Oh, never mind. Nope. They have been taken down. They have barely anything left, and it looks like their control center is open to attack. However, with some clever spinning, they seem to have averted danger until this new batch of missiles come in, and that's destroys the reactor.
2 matches won by team. Two matches won so far. Oh, never mind. Looks like last second, Kawa switched back to Blue Pages. And, oh yes, it's as I feared. The trump card is actually a reactor bomb, with boosters, point defense, and shields. It's going to be quite interesting to see how Selphis
Demeter's
uses
Summer,
this.
however, seems to be a quad rail that seems to be, what is that, full length?
Here's the problem. Look at those sides. There's almost no armor, so if he can't turn enough and one of those missiles hits a stray on his sides, it could compromise the entire ship. So he has to be very careful. He's piloting two ships too, so
My guess is that it's some kind of kite because it has a lot of reverse thrusters. However, I don't know how that's gonna fare against the blue pages as it swings in with the drift, absolutely
And
wrecking
annihilates
Demeter's
him.
Summer. And that is
GG.
the
Let's hear that.
end of Demeter's Summer.
Uh-oh.
Not
Reactor
looking
bombs-
very good for Team 2.
Reactor bomb's closing in on one eye. He explodes it, and it does almost nothing.
I
well,
wouldn't
I
say
guess-
that, sir.
Well,
I would say that
well.
does a whole lot of damage. That actually stripped away the majority of the hull on the front
Here's the
of
thing.
Flare.
Selphis is now out of the game. It's now just a 2v1, and those engines are getting pummeled by One Eye's missiles. One Eye here is sitting pretty comfortably. He's not even moving. He feels confident. Yeah, those shields of Blue Page is coming in handy. And the missiles, though, Endoshade's gonna have a really hard time.
Blue Page is betraying their
There-
teammate by pushing the. Oh, never
Oh.
mind. That's
Oh,
it.
and
That
it's
is
over.
the end.
It's over.
The reigning champions, One Eye and Kawa. Oh,
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Kao and One Eye.